Hey guys, Tatty here and welcome to another Call of Duty Ghosts video for you. In this video I've got some exclusive information that no one else on YouTube has, and I've also got some more unseen information that not many people have covered from interviews that I've seen. So before we start, let me just say this first half of the video was given to me as information by a subscriber, and the link to his channel will be in the description, so thanks for that info. But of course I can't prove the legitimacy because I didn't get the information myself, but this subscriber has been to his local GameStop store and asked the manager about Call of Duty Ghosts, I think it's like a week ago or something like that, and the manager has been to one of those like media briefings of Call of Duty Ghosts. They get to see little details early, little like description things that they've shown them in Infinity Ward themselves, and this subscriber's managed to just get some information out of this manager himself, and that is what I'm going to be bringing you in this video today. So some of the things that he managed to discover were things that we already kind of knew from like the trailer. We could have guessed it, I guess, and that is that animals play a bigger role. You know, we've seen the dog, we've seen people talking in interviews that this dog is going to play a massive part in the single player campaign, so we could have kind of guessed that. We saw in the trailer the underwater combat. He says there's more emphasis on underwater combat in the single player. I guess that's more like the stealth missions. And talking about stealth missions, he says there's going to be multiple mission routes, so does that open the door to maybe multiple storyline endings or different possibilities, you know, different storylines that you can actually go down as a character with these different routes that you choose to take in the missions, and whichever choices you make, you know, actually shape the finishing, the end of the storyline basically. And he also says, and again we probably could have guessed this, there's a bigger emphasis on stealth, so the stealth missions, which personally are my favourite missions. I love those kind of missions, but there's going to be more of those and more of an emphasis on them as well. He also said, and this is something that I covered a couple of videos back, but I don't think a lot of people have kind of like seen this and discovered it. Breakable entrances are going to be something that I think in multiplayer as well as in single player, because in an interview, I think it was Mark Rubin from Infinity Ward said that they're going to be having breakable entrances which shape the maps online, the multiplayer maps, and so maybe this requires some kind of breaching or something, or maybe you can just manually break open the door or something like that. But in multiplayer, I think this is what it applies to. In multiplayer, you can like open doors to get to different places of the map and things like that. So that's pretty cool, and it just makes a bigger portion of the map accessible, really, which is always pretty cool. These next two things are something that we've never really seen before in Call of Duty, and the second one of which I was kind of shocked to see because, well, you'll see in a minute, but the first one is fist fighting. So, you know, we've heard that the Call of Duty Ghost Squad, the Ghost Team, whatever you want to call them, are kind of like not as advanced in the technology as the enemies, as the other superpowers, because they, you know, it's just crippled. They have no technology themselves. They have no army. They're just going to be using current gen technology and current gen weapons, and they're probably going to be limited to the amount of ammunition and weapons and technology that they have themselves, because, you know, they're not officially like funded or anything, because America's just absolutely collapsed. And fist fighting is going to be something that is going to be in one of the missions, or some of the missions in multiplayer, maybe even online. I don't know, but that sounds a bit unrealistic. Probably just the single player missions. So fist fighting, I'm not really sure what to make of that, really, but it does sound like something that could be in the single player, especially. Probably not the multiplayer, but probably it could be in the single player, definitely. Well, this next thing that I'm going to be talking about is going to cause uproar. And of course I can't claim that this is 100% legit and it's going to be in the game, because I've only just been tipped this by a subscriber who's been tipped it by a GameStop employee, so who knows. But he says that medical health packs are going to be in the game. In single player, in multiplayer maybe, I don't know, but in single player it would make sense. In multiplayer I'm not sure that it would, because, you know, it's kind of treading on the toes of Battlefield. I think people will start getting a little bit annoyed with it, and I really just don't know how it would work in multiplayer. But in single player I think it's possible. I think it is possible that like one of this, because we know that you play as the Ghost Squad the whole time. You don't play as any other allies anywhere else in the world. You play as this Ghost Squad, and wherever you go in the world, you're with one of the characters in the Ghost Squad basically, and you know, maybe one of these Ghost Squad is medically trained or something like that, and they just carry around this medical kit the whole time with them, just in case. Or, you know, maybe the dog's carrying all his drugs on his back, I don't know. But medical health packs in single player, something that could be in the game, and I could see pretty useful in single player as well. You know, if your favourite character is about to die and you can revive him, you know, why not? But that is the end of that leaked information that I've had from my subscriber, so thank you for that information. He also says he'll try and get a picture or video of that gameplay for me as well, so make sure you stay tuned and subscribe for that, because I will bring it to you as soon as I can. But now moving on to this more information that I've had. It was in an interview, but like nobody's really seen this interview, so I thought I'd cover it because there's quite some interesting information about the multiplayer specifically as well. And we already know about the dynamic maps, you know, the player actions that the player takes, like opening doors, breaching other routes of the map, and there's also going to be like natural events such as earthquakes. There's going to be floods, I think he said, and things like that. But they also emphasised it being more interactive, so not just these things that happen, you know, out of your control really, but things that you can actually control. He also says they're trying to bring in more quirky things into the multiplayer, and he used an example of something that they're looking at in one of the multiplayer maps, whereby a satellite crashes in the middle of the map, and whoever gets to the satellite first and activates it gets some kind of temporary UAV features. Something that mixes up the map a little bit more, so that you're not only playing for the objective, but you're playing for these little extras like that UAV. You know, it sounds petty and little, but little things like that could change the shape of the map and the way people, you know, the routes people take, and just mixes it up a little bit. He also said, and this is on the face of the customization part of the multiplayer, he said that all of the gear that you're going to be able to customize has different texture maps on it. So you're going to be able to change the texture, you know, the colour, the pattern of every piece of gear that you're wearing, or most of the pieces of gear that you're wearing, which is always pretty cool. So it's just going to work like camos on weapons, and it also opens the door to those kind of like micro DLC that Treyarch have done in Black Ops 2 with all the new camos and the titles and things like that. I'm pretty sure that we're going to see some cool looking camos, and you're going to be able to buy some extra cool looking camos as well, because, you know, they're into the money, there's no doubt about that. But, you know, people will always spend it, so it's there for those guys that want to buy them. So yeah, that is all the information that I've had. That is one massive chunk of information that I've got all in one video for you. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you stayed till the end. If you have done, a quick like would be really appreciated for this effort and all the leaked information. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe for all the latest COD Ghost news, and I hope you all have a great day.